Welcome back to another Land House vlog. So today I'm going to be reviewing a new work light that was sent to me. Pretty good. I've been testing it for a few days now. Also, I actually was wanting some picture ledge shelves, so I got those completed. Looking nice up here. She's always enjoyed ancient Egypt, so that's what's going to be up here for a while, but I think the shelves turned out nicely. You can buy those at like Target for $13 a piece, and I built those for $9, so definitely save some money. Also, she wants to have some shelves here in the closet that will be kind of like my office, just over here, so we can stack more of Emma's things, like this giant pile of diapers over here. So that's also on today's list. Also, plan on going back out to the building and getting the last of the ram pump compartment storage painted, because that is definitely a necessity. I have to go out there and build a pump that sold today, and it's just not fun to have all those boxes or parts in boxes and hard to get to. We had one more baby shower for Emma last week, and we got this nice diaper cake. So, our diaper castle, I guess it is. Have to use that up at some point. Her room is definitely coming along. I actually spent some time trying to get all these drawers organized. Yeah. So, that's the progress for today. I will bring you along for a few steps, since I think you've enjoyed some behind the scenes of my other videos. Just wrapped up the review on the Thorfire flashlight over here. So you've been wanting to know what was behind the scenes of my videos. So if this was the scene, then this is behind the scene. A very dirty workshop. Oh my. Definitely want to get this place cleaned up soon so I can really start some projects and not have to worry about the mess. I had just tuned into Wrangler Star's series on improving his workshop, and he was not using French cleats, and that's the system that I intend on using. And I was thinking about even making this wall here the French cleat system. So that way I can have movable tools up on this wall. And like I said before, I want this workbench to be able to be on wheels as well. So if I want to just slide it on down under the window, I could do that, no problem. Okay, so I want to get back to work painting the shelves here. I have enough paint to do 2 coats, and I probably should put that on there because, you know, it's going to look better that way. I think it looks pretty nice though. Should keep a nice clean environment for ram pump parts. Also, need to go get the measurements for that metal shelving so that I can get Emma's closet shelf ready before Ashley gets home this evening. Let's go do that. Lainey, you need some Orbit gum to clean that dirty mouth. Eehee. I have no idea where I put my little baby tripod. I'll have to go find it. Let's see what we got here in Emma's closet. Okay. And a little bit more than that. This pink sure did turn out nice. Looks like it's going to be 24-inch, so I need to come in a little bit. A little project I've been working on that have not shown you yet is this contraption. This is definitely an early prototype for what I would like it to be. But I'm working on a way to attach a couple pieces of wood down here to a workbench or this vanity, and then you can adjust this lever and tighten it down. And it's going to be a camera mount for Ashley at some point, where the arm can hang over her vanity and she can film her videos without having to adjust the camera on the tripod. I'm going to do a track system in here instead of holes, so it can be slid back and forth and then adjusted. And definitely going to redo the design for the knobs because they slip, as you can maybe see in there. But anyway, such a little thing I'm working on. Found it. So Ashley and I had packed our Emma's here, or is about to be here, bag, and I had put it in that so that I would have a tripod whenever I have to go to the hospital, because you never know when you need to film a Land to Dad episode at the hospital. Okay, so I got these shelves here. Gonna go out. I just have to cut one because that's all the hardware I have right now to get this installed. You know what? Let's try out our outdoor receptacle here. I finished painting the first coat on those ram pump shelves and then got Emma's first closet shelf put in down there. That's all the plastic brackets that I had, so it's the only one I can install today. But I have enough wire out here for one more shelf. Last summer I started a project and it wasn't going very well, so I never did show you the videos, but here it is. It's my water storage idea for the garden, and it would come from the ram pump, which is way down there in the creek, and fill these two 55-gallon drums. Now the problem was I tried to cut a hole with a hole saw, and I had a 2 1/8. I needed a 2-inch hole. So it was too big up here, and that's why this one is upside down. And then one of these, I tried to work with it, but I also cut the hole too big. And so I need to basically buy 2 more of these drums. There is a company down the mountain that has chemicals in these, food grade chemicals. And so when they're done with the chemicals, they give these to the local plumbing store, and they're $12 a piece. So a great deal on these drums. So the plan is to be able to hook up the ram pump into a hole up top, and then having them linked together will fill both, and then I can turn on this to allow me to have 110 gallons of water at the garden at any time. So hopefully this summer I will have the opportunity to buy 2 more barrels, which should be like 24 bucks. And then I can really get some water for the garden and not have to pull it from our well. So that may be a fun project to look forward to. My brother-in-law that was visiting back in December has become very interested in ultralight backpacking. And he's thinking about using a hammock instead of a tent for his shelter. And I actually have a hammock with bug net over it that I have not really used. It's probably at least 10 years old. So the dogs and I are heading off into the woods to find 2 good trees, set this up, and just see how it is. Now, I was asking my brother-in-law, what do you do about the cold? Because hammocks are notorious for pulling out heat when you're trying to sleep. He says you just use a pad like you would in a tent. So I don't really have one of those. I have to get one before we go. He's thinking about coming up again 2 months from now to give this a try. So I want to give it a setup here and see what it's like. I'm on the very edge of my property, sadly of which I've only been walking on twice since I bought it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the house is right in there, and the tiny house is right over there. So this is the property I bought for 400 bucks in that auction. Okay, so I've decided to choose this tree to this tree and see how well that works. See what we got here. Now I don't remember if this has a tarp over it or not, so I'll have to come up with that because I don't want to be camping without rain shelter. Okay. Oh man, it doesn't have clips. We're gonna have to walk back to the house. Maybe. Let's see what's in here. I didn't feel like walking back to the house, so I just wound some string together. Grass. I didn't feel like walking back to the house to get a carabiner, so I just wound some grass together and made this cord, and then forged this carabiner clip here, and should do pretty good. So, let's see here. Man, that's a big tree. Okay, well that ought to do it. And now it's got these strings here, and I guess they connect also up here at the carabiner. You know, I'm really surprised this elastic even works still, being as old as this is. Well, I guess we should climb in and see how well this does. For some reason, I always thought that this hammock had an entry point from the bottom, but maybe that was just one at the store I used to work at. But apparently it's over here on the side. Hey pups, do you want in here? You have to come around. Oh, there we go. Now we're all in here. Got both Laney and Wally and myself. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get used to laying in a hammock, because this is not exactly the bed I'm used to. Good shot, Walter. So I may have to wait till it's warmer and then give this a try with the pad, of course. That was actually pretty cool. I think sleeping in a hammock might be more comfortable than on the ground with a nice pad and blanket. And if the weather is a little bit warmer than 31 degrees, it's a little bit snowy out, and I think I'm gonna go back inside. Now my brother-in-law is wanting to come up here in 2 months to do this, so I really hope that it's warmer than this when he's here. So Ashley and I are both broke, and we don't care much for spending money on dog grooming. So that means it's up to us to get Wally and Laney trimmed. And you can see that Wally is quite long-haired and matted. So tonight is going to be the first of probably 3 haircuts that he gets. Let's see. Hope you're ready for this, Walter. You can see that this is going to take a while because he has a lot of fur. We tried to use the clippers on him, but his fur is too matted up to use those. So we just hit him with the scissors. It's a little bit too cold out to be painting the ram pump shelves, sadly. I'm so close to having those done. But I did go to the hardware store and buy another roll of this insulation. Yeah. And that should give me some more work to do on the building out here. Ashley is definitely starting to feel that the time is getting close for Emma. So the workshop stuff is probably about to slow way down. So here are my thoughts. If I take the insulation that I just purchased and get this corner fixed up here, what I can do is use my last two pieces of paneling. I've got one that's looks like a 1/2 inch, and oh, I've got 3 pieces. Nice. Didn't even know that. Okay, so use 2 of those pieces for here and here, and that will give me this corner done. And what I would like to do is go ahead and start making a spot with this plywood for my computer that was donated to me. So it'll be a shelf in here that I can get that installed and use this plug here. Just when you thought there was not going to be a car scene in this video, here we are. I've started realizing that the car scenes, they're convenient for me, but maybe not the most entertaining content, so I'm going to try to do better to limit them a little bit. Ashley and I just got back from a baby appointment, and things are beginning to progress a little bit. She's in a lot more pain, and my prediction has been all along that we would have Emma February the 8th. She was hoping maybe a little bit earlier than that. The due date's not till the 20th, and so we still have plenty of time, but Emma is roughly 6 pounds now, and if she goes to term, like to 40 weeks, then she will be close to 8 pounds. And Ashley is a tiny person and does not want an 8-pound Emma, but we don't really have a whole lot of say in that, do we? Question for you. I've been using the GoPro now for these vlogs ever since number 2, I think. My cell phone did not have editability. Anyway, the bit rate on my cell phone was not good with Premiere Pro. And the GoPro audio is poor, and the low light is terrible. And I would just like to bring you higher quality video and audio. So the question is, have you used a point and shoot for a vlog, and what are your recommendations? Right now I don't have the budget for the camera that I would like, which is the Sony RX 100 number 5, I think. It's a $1,000 camera. It's very nice. Autofocus is almost instant, but I don't have that kind of budget. So today we went to Best Buy and I looked at cameras like the what was it, a Nikon S7000 or something, I forget. I liked that one. And there are a couple of Canon cameras that were decent, and a few more Sonys. Looking for something in the $150 to $300 range is my current budget for a decent camera. Now my goal is to buy Ashley the Sony RX 105 for her main camera later in the future, but that's going to be this summer at least. So anyway, just give me your thoughts on a decent vlogging camera that's small, good low light settings, and also decent audio. Those are kind of my main points there. So if you have any thoughts, just let me know. We're back home from the baby doctor, and I'm doing some painting out here in the workshop. I got second coat on the 2 rows up here, and then everything after that I'm just going to do where it's visible. So I'm not going to come back and do a second coat up under there because I'm easily bored with painting. Let me show you what I finished over here yesterday with the insulation. Got this pretty well covered in the corner here. Need to cut down the annoying pieces like in there and over here, and then all the little gaps up there. But and I think, let's see, this actually is going to be 4 foot to right here, or maybe right there. So I may have to cut a little strip in here for that, but should be pretty easy. And then I will have to cut around this window a little bit to get the panel in there. But it's going to be really nice to have this corner done so that I can work on my computer out here, or at least play some music or whatever I need to do on that. So looking forward to it. My neighbor's boys were up this weekend, and they told me that their dad was clearing off the land to put in a house for sale. And that's not very surprising to me because that's what he does. So I'm just flying around here to see what it looks like. They've got 2 excavators up and they're working pretty hard today. Wednesday, February the 1st. I have a lot of exciting things happening today, and the first of those is to get the ram pump parts on the new shelves. I will still have to come back and paint up top here, so I'll cover up the parts with a tarp or plastic, but it's time to get these out because ram pump season is soon approaching. I tell you what, that is looking nice. Definitely going to be helpful to have all the components of ram pump sitting out here for me to see what's up. Now I can definitely tell you I'm desperately low on this component and this component, so I'm going to have to reorder that today. And that's exactly why I wanted to get these out as quick as I could. Now check this out. I've got just as many boxes as I had before, but instead of recycling them this time, I have something else in mind. And that will be an upcoming video, hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so, depending on when Emma gets here. Whenever I made Ashley's desk, we just set it up here in front of the window. And she was just telling me that in the afternoon, the sun comes through here and becomes a real annoyance when she's trying to work on the computer. So she's asked that I move the desk from here and just angle it back this way so that she has her computer in this back corner. One of the problems is it's all very heavy, but I've also got these attachments up under here to the base so it doesn't slide around, which means I've got to get that taken off before I can move this. So I'll have to move it in 3 parts. And that's what I'm gonna do right now. Just got the desk moved. I think it looks much better over in this corner. Opens up the room quite a lot here. And this way, she'll still have a little bit of sun coming off from the side, but it shouldn't be on the screen or in her eyes, so that'll be good. An upcoming project is to get this entire wall over here covered in bookshelves. And I think she also wants this wall over here to have kind of a wraparound effect. And we have to think about this wall as well. So lots more to do in the future. The main problem is money.
Look at the dogs.
Where are they?
They're just sitting on the porch. I just peeked out the window. It's so funny.
Ashley says the dogs look funny out here on the front porch.
They're just like sitting there so depressed.
I see Wally. Oh yeah, there's Lainey too. She's over here. Hard to see.
Wally's like, please let me in.
Should we let him in?
And you're going to be here for a minute, yeah, but don't, if they're dirty, don't on the couch.
Oh, these dogs wouldn't get dirty. Lainey, you get to spend time back here in your room because you're dirty.
Yeah, he's well enough out. There's no need to wash your clothes off.
Yeah.
And there's Wally, my favorite puppy.
Well, I stepped out to the creek today to run a couple of experiments, and I'm having some technical difficulties. One of the first ones is my 22-year-old black flex pipe has expanded too much to fit over this, even with this clamp on here. So as you can see, it's leaking. So that's an issue. So I couldn't get my big pump started because of that. The next issue is with the ram pump setup I have down here. I either have a rock in the inline check valve here, which I don't think is the problem, or The two 45s that I have here are just too much. They're reducing the pressure wave too much to get it to the pump to start. So my thoughts are, if I remove the pipe from these clips here and from a certain ways up and just start angling it down, attaching it to the base down here, so that by the time it gets to this point, it's maybe about right here, and it can just slowly jut down there, maybe using some 22s. Just have to see how that goes. But because let me show you what's happening here. It builds up pressure only whenever you're clicking it here, but never does actually start on its own. So I'm gonna just have to play around with getting this drive pipe at less of an angle here, because I'm pretty sure what's going on is it's being killed by these two angles. But again, I can't rule out that maybe something has happened in here that's losing pressure and it's not being able to start or keep going. So it's still February the 1st, so a little bit cool to be out here working in the water. And see, whenever I built my retaining wall for the workshop, I used this for most of that, so it worked, which makes me think it could also be that check valve. But anyway, we'll just have to give it a try and see what happens. Since my ram pump in the creek idea was not working today, I decided to do a quick review of the Manfrotto tripod and X-Pro ball head that I've been using. So you'll probably be seeing that out here in just a couple of days. Great tripod. There's a kids show called Dora the Explorer where she shows you a scene and you have to figure out what's wrong. She's like, "Can you find the problem?" And she stares at you and blinks. So I put this panel on yesterday next to the window here, and it looks great. Got it painted, all secured to the wall, but now I'm having to take it off. Do you know why? Well, it's because right about here is the electrical outlet that I forgot about and just covered up. So I'm having to take this off and pull that back out. What a great week this has been. Definitely starting to wrap things up now. Just went to the grocery store and got supper for tonight and lunch for tomorrow. Well, I believe I have decided to save up more money and buy the Canon G7X because it's just a far superior camera and audio is decent, all that good stuff. So that's the one I'm gonna go with. Maybe several months before I can afford that, but just wanted to let you know. Well, I believe that's gonna wrap things up for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, hit that thumbs up button, and I will see you next week.